Cheers. Celebrating. So once again, thank you for all of you people that made this possible. It's a beautiful bike and I'm very, very happy with it. Now, when I was doing the research into mountain bikes, primarily I was looking for something simple looking but effective. I didn't need anything fancy, big fat tyres looking like a motorbike and all that sort of jazz. I didn't want to draw the attention to thieves and that business. And so I thought, well, I'll have it in a low tone colour and looking pretty low tone. Now, if it wasn't for the battery on there, you'd never really think it was a mountain bike, electric mountain bike. So 21 gears and 19-inch wheels, I believe. It's a big bike. It's a beast of a bike. Now, it's got a 15 mile an hour maximum speed, which is perfect for me. I go faster on a flat and downhill when I'm pushing it on my regular mountain bike. And of course, going downhill you can get 35 miles an hour, and very often I'm like, oh, if the wheel fell out at this speed I'd be skinned alive on the road, you know, because this is how I cycle. And I want this bike to cycle primarily summer times. I'll use it of course in the winter time, but with my shorts on, just with the shirt on. And if this bike could go 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour like some of them can, this is the 250 watt motor. And it's got a governor on it, so when you're going downhill you can feel the governor kicking in. So it's a constant 15 miles an hour, and to get that motor to operate you have to keep pedaling, and the pressure that you need to apply on the pedals is about a third what you would normally apply on the flat, and about a quarter that you'd normally apply going up a hill. Now, when the motor kicks in, it's very subtle, you can barely even feel it, and when the governor kicks in, it's the same, it's just a slow, just easing back. So you've got this constant 15 miles an hour, and it really is just a pleasurable journey, because I never took it out of top gear, out of 21st gear I suppose, or maybe first gear, whichever way it's ratioed. But I just left it in that top gear, and every time it comes to a hill it just kicks in nice and slowly, and the pedal ratio is consistent, and you're just gliding up, and then you come over the brow and you go down, and then it slows you down and you keep the pedals turning. So it's not a workout. I couldn't work out on that bike. If I'm going to work out like I do 6 days a week, I've got to go on my regular mountain bike, because that allows me to really apply maximum pressure to my legs and to my cardiovascular system. And even when I'm going downhill I'll just pound it, and then I'm still making sure that I'm really working hard. I never just coast down a hill. So it's beautiful from that respect. It's got wide handlebars, and the seating position is perfect because you're straight armed and you're sitting upright, just a little bit leaning forward, just a perfect position. It's very well engineered. The handle grips are nice. I'll show you a closer look in a minute. The seats are maximally comfy, and you can look at many and the seats are atrocious. They're these tiny little razor-like seats that slip right up your arse, and it's kind of, they're stupid. I mean, they look great and slick, but they're entirely impractical. You couldn't cycle more than 1 mile on one of those seats. So it's got the rack on the back, which is you know, a utility, and it's got front and back lights, and well, I'll have a look around it in a minute. But I've just been on my 7.5 mile regular route, and I was just cruising, and so I'm thinking, well, if I want a gentle ride anywhere, it's blissful. And I wanted a bike like this because I've got journeys of 20 or 25 miles one way, and so, you know, round trip 40 or 50 miles is quite something on a regular mountain bike, particularly if you've got to go on the path here and on the cycle path there and on the subway here and all this sort of stuff. If you can keep up with the flow of traffic, or at a reasonable rate in any case, then the traffic and the roads are much easier to negotiate. So very, very happy with it. All of the reviews I've listened to have been great. The one that everyone's raving about is a 750 watt bike, but that would go 40 miles an hour, vastly too dangerous. The legal parameters for e-bikes in Great Britain is a 250 watt motor, with a governor maximum speed of 15 miles an hour, and to be quite frank, people, I'm perfectly happy with that. I've heard that maybe you can take the governor off, and there is a bit of a rev and rip throttle thing, because the throttle is a plus and a minus. If you want it to go or if you want it to stop, it's just plus and minus, so it's really simple. But what I did find was, when I was in a high gear and I'd stopped to let traffic pass, if I wanted to try to take off relatively quickly, if there's an oncoming car, I couldn't do that, because it took like at least 1/2 turn of the pedal before the motor would kick in. And so, I mean, I could have down geared it and took off under regular speed, which was fine. But I'm thinking with the twist grip, you would have got there straight away. But I'm not sure whether they're illegal. I think I seem to remember listening to people saying they were. I've got a real cool ass full face helmet coming for when I'm in the traffic. When I'm heading to these parks, I've got to go through 5 miles of busy dual carriageways before I get into the countryside, where I'll take the helmet off, just have the wind in the hair. And so all in all, it's a beautiful bike. It's a big bike, feels like you're riding on a horse, really it does. And so let's have a little bit of a closer look then, shall we? So the only thing with this particular model that I struggled with was the mudguards, because on the picture it shows that you've got a shorter mudguard on the front and a longer one on the back, but you can't fit the long one on the back because you've got this rack there, so the short one will only fit. But this bracket was bent in the wrong angle, and it's a sprung steel, so it couldn't easily be bent short of a hammer, taking a hammer to it and a vise. But I really struggled to get that fixing in there, and really struggled to be able to tighten this one up, because you can't get the Allen key kit that they give you in there easy. I think that maybe that front mudguard just looks a little bit too long. I think probably if it was about there, it would look nicer, and maybe I'll consider cutting that off. But the thing is about it, you see, it's giving great protection to the battery and all the derailleur and all that sort of stuff. So if you're going through any dirt, then you really don't want all that shit in your chain and ruining all this mechanism. So I think it's the perfect length. You've got adjustable shockers here, and you've got these touch button gears very, very easily. You push this and that takes you higher in a gear, and then you press these and it brings you lower in a gear. This is for your phone, to plug your phone in. Then you've got a phone holder which mounts here. I will never use that. Then you've got the on button for the electric, and then the plus and the minus, and then you've got the lights here, and then you've got a horn. And front light, you've got nice big pedals, and backlight. Of course, you've got the stand there, and I bought these as extras, this U-bar and this cable, and that kind of like fits in there nicely, and it I can't feel it when I'm pedaling, so that's great. Very, very substantial, comfy seat. Very happy with that. The battery is lockable, so you just unlock it and pull it up for a fraction and it comes off. And disc brakes front and back, and now that's about it, people. There was people speaking in the review saying that these tyres are a bit too knobbly, and you can change them for more road cut tyres. But this tyre was useful for off-road as well as road, and so they're in between. But I think they're speaking about the 750 watt bike, because you'd probably hear a hum off the knobbles on this tyre when you're going faster, but it's most certainly not discernible for this wattage of motor. A beautiful looking bike. It is heavy. It's a beast to try to cycle without power, and so I wouldn't want to run out of juice 10 or 15 miles away. It's a great looking bike, and I'm really, really happy. Really happy. And so it's easy to talk about manifesting, and I could say, yeah, I manifest this, I just asked the cosmos and this, that and the other. But the fact of it is, the manifestation required 18 people. Well, in actual fact, it only required 6. The first 6, within an hour or two of me making that appeal, the money came through. And the first money to hit my PayPal was £500 from somebody who, frankly, I've got no idea who it is. Then I got £200 from a female who I do know. I'm very grateful to everybody. And then it tiered down into £50 and £10, £5, and one guy thought he was being pretty smart and hilarious. He forwarded 50p, so thank you for that 50p, because that bought one of those little nodules on one of those tyres, so it all adds up in the end. And so, you know, I guess people like that, they're mocking and they're thinking, but what's the lesson we learn from this, people? I mean, I'm not the easiest person to send money to by any stretch of the imagination. In actual fact, I'm probably the hardest person anyone would ever send any money to, and that was kind of like proof of the numbers. 300 people, 350 people I think watched the GoFundMe video, and 18 people came forward. One of those was for 50p, and so, you know, go figure. But it happened. And so however this manifestation happens, it happens, and if you are a believer, and if you trust the cosmos and how it works, then it works. And I've done it all my life with many things, and it really is a very peculiar phenomenon. Now, people could say, well, why don't you do it then for £1 million and this, that and the other? Because things like that, they wouldn't work. Because the cosmos just has a way of knowing what your needs are, what your requirements are, what your feasible parameters are, and things like that. Now, if I was doing a GoFundMe for starving children or afflicted animals, and I wanted to raise £1 million, then I'm sure the cosmos would work with me on that. But I'm not greedy. I'm you know, very rarely asking for anything, ask the cosmos for anything. I'm always saying that I'm absolutely content with what I've got. And now this has given me what was taken away from me when I lost the facility for travelling to these national parks. Now I do still travel to them. I travel to them with a different person now, but it's not the same as going on your own, because I want the facility to be able to do some entheogens there. I want to do walking, open-eyed meditation. I want to do lots of filming, and you can't do that when you are with somebody. So I have that facility now. and I'm going to make a lot of use of that during these summer months. So the only thing with this, I live on a first floor flat. This bike is heavy, and okay, because I'm not going to be using it a great deal, probably once a week. So it's doable. I can take it up around the stairs, and I can put it in the bedroom, and I'll put a blanket on the floor, so because I've got almost a white carpet in my bedroom. Because they don't allow you to keep things in the foyers of these buildings for fire risk purposes and all that nonsense. But so yeah, I mean, okay, once a week I'll carry it up and down the stairs, no big deal, and at least then it's in my house and I know that it's safe. So yeah, there you have it, people. The bike cost £750, the helmet cost £50, the lock cost £20. I've got an underseat saddle bag which costs like £8. I've got a water holder which was £5. It's got an electronic buzzer on it, so that's pretty cool. What else we got going? What else we got going? No, I think that's about it. So the actual application of it, the cycling of it, it's a very nice ride. It's very easy. It's just a cruise. It's just a delight, and it's so safe. That's the thing. It is so safe. 15 miles an hour, uphill or downhill. Fine. I've got no problem with that at all. I can tend to be just staring at the clouds and wow. And you know, in the past, I've hit cars, wing mirrors with the handlebars, and I've gone over the handlebars. And so I don't want to be doing things like that at 30 miles an hour. So this is the perfect speed. It's legal, so if I ever get stopped for a check, they can't confiscate it, because that's what they're doing. They're confiscating hundreds, if not thousands, of bikes in and around all the cities in Great Britain. Many people are being knocked over by these bikes all over the world, being hospitalised and that, and so obviously they need regulating. And I think 50 miles an hour is fine. You don't have to wear a helmet, you don't need a license or anything. If you want a 750 watt motor, then you can be traveling at 30 miles an hour or 40. You need to have a driver's license, you need to have insurance, it needs to be registered with the driving centre, DVLA. And I think even you may have to have road tax. Yeah, I think I remembered. So because it's effectively what's an electric bike, a motorbike type thing. If it travels at 30 miles an hour, the same as a moped, it has to be treated the same, doesn't it? So you've got to wear a helmet, you've got to be insured and taxed and all that stuff. So there you have it, people. I'm going to chill out a little bit and enjoy a couple of hours of sunshine.